Here he is.
What's up?
How's everyone?
Yeah, good man. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Just enjoying being back in the real world.
Oh yeah, it's good to be out of quarantine. Oh,
Yeah.
who's that, Bri?
My boyfriend.
Still got the mullet?
What do you
Jeez,
think?
it's getting long.
How's
Oh,
that?
do you put tips in it?
No, this is the beach.
Oh, okay. Looks like you put tips in it. It's got blonde tips.
I'll just start us off. We'll go around. We'll go Bri, Clarke, Cookie for questions. And then when we get to but yeah, so what's everyone up to? What's everyone been doing?
So I mean, when did I come back? I came back to Australia like middle of March. So I was like on my way to Sydney Nationals, and then obviously everything got postponed. So my connection was LA. So I like just hung there for a little bit. I was like, fuck, I guess I'll eventually go back to Boston and figure this all out. And then everything started to get cancelled, and then everything went into lockdown. So I made my way back here by like middle of March, and then I've just been home. Literally just I had to do the 2-week isolation, and I did it like out of my home and stuff. I was like pretty like good with it all. And then just kind of slowly, like training wise, nothing's really going on right now. I'm doing like 1 run a day, just chilling. I've been doing sessions. Like I don't know. It would be kind of silly for me right now. Like I think especially as a girl, it's like important to just stay healthy and like staying with the shit, and then ramp it up later on. I'm not in a rush. I'm just honestly, it's a nice fucking vacay right now. So
for sure.
Yeah.
You, Clarke?
So when the season kind of started getting a bit dicey, so I think when Nationals was called off, I went to Melbourne for a bit, and just like hung out with my family, hung out with Jess, and then stayed there, and then came back. But then SA put in quarantine rules, so I actually had to self-isolate in my house for 2 weeks as well. So I was basically confined to my room because I'm in a share house. So I was basically confined to my room, which is pretty tough for like the first. It was meant to be for the whole 2 weeks, but then the nurse was like, look, if you're not showing symptoms after like 8 or 9 days, you don't have it. So like for the second week, I kind of just stayed around the house. We got a treadmill in the in our carport, which my coach set me up with, which was nice. But been taking it pretty easy. Like there's not a lot really to do right now. Like I was expecting to be in Flagstaff at this time of the year right now. So it's been taking it real easy.
Yeah. Cookie?
I'm a bit different. So I haven't really run at all since NCAA cross country, which is in November. Just had a few injuries and stuff. Just took a bit of time to get over, but I'm actually supposed to be able to start running again on Thursday, which I'm looking forward to. But other than that, I took a semester off school, so I've just been home hanging out. I've been working at a nursery as a hairdresser for plants pretty much, which has been pretty cool. Getting some money, get outside of the house. But I've been pretty lazy recently, putting a few kilos, but hopefully can shed them when I go back to running.
It's just stored energy.
Exactly.
He's a plant.
Yeah, I can't sit still. It's been killing me.
Well, so you're planning on going back over to college?
Yeah, that's the plan. It's the plan. So just depends if like we can even go back at this stage, or if there will be like a cross country season. But I mean, I'm in no rush. Like I've had 6 months off running, so if it gets delayed a bit, I'm probably all for that.
Are you getting surgery, or how did that?
No, I didn't get it. So like the actual injury, like the success rate of the surgery was like the exact same as like success of like just like physiotherapy and rehab. So we went that route just so like we didn't introduce any like more problems if we did the surgery. So did that. So I'm just in like the rehab, and it's gone pretty pretty well right now. So I see the physio again Thursday, and then should be running on the treadmill there.
So good.
Yeah.
Return. Yeah. So what's everyone else? You, Ed? I was kicking back in isolation, doing it properly.
You were allowed out in your isolation though, weren't you?
I
think you could leave your property.
I think so. It was
He's always swimming in the harbour when they're looking for him.
Yeah. If anyone wants to come and kick back in Sydney, more than welcome.
It's so different everywhere. Hey, like I remember when I was in Melbourne, I was like sitting in a park. I was by myself sitting in a park, and like there were a few people in the park too, but everyone was pretty scattered. And people were driving past, yelling out of their car windows, being like, "Get out of the park! Get out of the park!"
Yeah.
Like it was nuts in Melbourne. But then in SA, it's really chill. Like we're allowed to have like, I think we're allowed to have like 10 people over.
Yeah.
If we want up to 10 people over.
Probably because everyone's related though.
No, we're not Tasmania, mate.
Do you even have 10 friends, Clarke?
Oh.
That's
so it's going to take a while to recover.
That's super isolated anyway. I feel like we practice social distancing, corona or not. So I don't know. I definitely haven't run into any trouble. Like they're saying all these things like go out for essential visits.
Yeah.
Or like don't have like many people over, like kind of just keep to your immediate family. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's been pretty relaxed. Like there was 0 cases as of like last week here. Yeah. So I feel like once we like flatten the curve, they'll just keep the borders closed for a little bit longer and then just wait till everyone else kind of like picks it up.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is we're kind of ahead of you guys, so just hurry up already.
Yeah. You were in New York as well, weren't you, Ed?
We're right in it. But like, I mean, it wasn't too bad where we were. And then
Ed,
we were just sort of training.
You were going for runs through Times Square and stuff in the middle of it all.
We were the first suburb to get the army in. So
what do they say about over there about you going for a run? Because like obviously, it's a bit hit and miss here if we're going for a run. Were they real tense over there on going for a run?
They were pretty chilled, except one lady followed me in a car, which I assume was because of that reason, not any other reason, although it is New York. She followed me in a car for like 15 minutes filming me. So I don't know. She didn't airdrop the video, and so I don't know what her goal was, but yeah.
You're on the news, bud.
So illegal.
So how's everyone happy with their season? How everything was going, except probably Cookie. Although,
yeah, I didn't have a season.
He's most impressed. Had a good bout of training like over Chrissy break, like coming back to Australia, had like good weather. So I trained like a bunch and then hit the indoor track like end of February. And I only got to run 2 3Ks. I was going to run a 3 and a 5, but I ran 9:06 for the first 3. And I was like, fuck, I want to crack 9 minutes. I think that'd be like pretty cool, especially going in steeple.
Yeah.
So I gave it another crack and I ran 9:04, just like, I had it there, but I mean, like, I'm only as good as the race I run, hey? So, kind of left, like, with a lot of, like, I don't know, drive to, like, want to get a good steeple in. But, yeah, and then obviously everything happened. So, I don't know, I feel like unfinished business, but I guess there's comfort in it because everyone's in that position. Like, you know, like, for me, it's like I'm still somewhat young. So a year's training under my belt isn't going to be bad. It's just about like timing of it. So like enjoying myself now and then like knowing when to like crack down, you know. So I mean, yeah, just unfinished business. It's weird, I guess. This whole thing is just weird. I don't really know. Like I can't really sit on the floor and cry about it. Like get on with it, you know.
Just enjoy your 20s while it lasts, eh?
Wait, I'm 24. Relax over there.
I'm 25 Wednesday week, fellas. Pencil it in.
Are you actually?
We can have a Zoom birthday party.
Who are the other 7 people going to come to your house?
Well, I can have up to 10 people over. If you guys want to fly over, you just got to spend 2 weeks in quarantine. We can set you up with a 10 out back.
I'll do it.
Yeah, someone explain to Ed what quarantine is.
You can't leave the property though, Ed.
How about your season, Clarke?
Yeah, so I started like pretty unreal. I was pretty happy with how I started. Like that Zatopek race was just like the 10K to be in, I think.
Yeah.
And then
28.
then kind of 28:39. And then I raced 1500 a couple of weeks later. And this is all through like where the bushfires go through and everything. So training was like pretty interrupted. We were going to go to Falls Creek, and then instead, actually, what happened is after Zatopek, I got on a plane and I went to China in December, January, actually, like when it was actually starting.
Are you calling me
I was in a different area.
Maybe
I was in China in January. I wasn't eating that, but I was in China, and then but I was training indoors, like there's a bit of pollution, so I got used to running on a treadmill. And then came back. We had the bushfires. Then our training camp got cancelled, so we went to Melbourne, kind of stuffed around for a few days. We didn't stuff around. We just like didn't really know. We was kind of planning what to do.
Yeah.
So then ended up just going back to Adelaide. So had a bit of like an interrupted prep, but then came out and ran a pretty good 1500. I think I closed the last lap. I only gave up half a second to Peter Bowl, beat some other like it was a pretty stacked VMC race. I think I was seated 8 seconds, so I was pretty happy with that. And then from there, the season just like fell apart. So I kind of feel like I got given a bit of a lifeline with everything getting postponed a bit, so that we can kind of work on what went wrong and then get it right next year.
Yeah.
Because I think if the season progressed how it was, I think Tokyo would 100% not be happening. Whereas like now I get another find a few things hopefully.
I mean, that's the other thing, because with 2022, there's World Champs and Com Games all back to back. So, I mean, there's Olympics next year, and then it's a pretty packed program for the next few years. Where does everyone see themselves 12 months from here?
Hopefully prepping for it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully getting my COVID-19 shot before I go over.
Yeah, fuck, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to be fit, running, healthy. I don't know, 12 months is a long time. Like, I feel like with this sport, you just can't plan it. Like, look at Cookso over there, you know, he wouldn't have guessed this would have happened to him. So I guess, like, ideally, healthy, racing, and in contention. But that's the beauty of this sport. You just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might stick around the States a little bit and finish grad school there. Like now that I feel like I just have unfinished business. I might go West Coast though. So
that'd be nice.
Applying to a few different schools. And just float around a little bit. I mean, I love the East Coast, but we'll see. We'll see what I get.
What like states are East Coast? Like where are you at the moment?
Like
I don't really know
America. East Coast.
Yeah.
I'm East Coast as well, and so is Ed.
Yeah.
All East Coast, yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
West Coast is like bigger, like schools like Stanford, like UCLA. And then East Coast
Oregon.
is like Harvard, like obviously all of our schools and stuff. So that's like kind of one way from it.
How about you, Cookie?
Yeah. I'm probably like more the same with Bri. Just like I'd probably just want to be healthy for like 12 months. Just put some solid training together.
Yeah.
Just enjoying running and stuff like that, and finish school whatsoever. And then like right now, it'd probably be outdoor track season in college. So hopefully run well there. I wouldn't mind if I'm running well, like try doing like world cross trials, just because it's an Australia made as well. Like have a crack at it. And I see myself probably more as a cross country runner than track. So I'd have a crack at that, and then after that, I'd probably just get into some road racing and
What would you need any games next year, guys?
Oh, of course.
Return?
I'm too old.
Definitely not. Where is it? It's incorrect. Like surely it's going to be relocated.
Where is it?
Yeah.
It's China.
Is it like Taipei? China. Yeah. You can go get
China have beat it, haven't they?
That's what they say.
Chinese scientist says we have beaten it.
Just go there and eat a raw bat for fun. Start it up again.
Oh, you would, Cookie. You would.
What are the odds?
What are the odds?
He was almost going to jump off the boat.
That would have ended bad. That's like a 20-meter drop. No, 30-meter drop.
I reckon a couple more days and some would have.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You jumped in the pool then, and you threw your clothes on. At the net's open. That was a funny video.
So good. So good.
What was everyone's highlight of Naples last year?
There's too many to choose from.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say, waking up in the morning and seeing Ed Goddard just blitzing the front of the half marathon. I was so pumped when I saw you out there, Ed. I was like, oh, he's on here, and I just remember because I slept through my alarm, and I just I didn't even have breakfast. I sprinted out the front of the boat to go watch it, and I saw the back 2/3 of it, and I that got me up and about. You just taking it on and hanging on for 4th.
Yeah.
And then we ended up coming in, and we almost thought you'd won it at one point
because the 2 Chinese guys got DQ'd.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
in terms of Cookie ran in it. Cookie ran in it too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, but I said I only saw the back 2/3, so that means I didn't see Cookie.
Yeah, I was just doing it for the team camaraderie, man.
You were doing it because you were forced to do it.
Yeah, debut.
Adam Diddick would have run it if you didn't.
That would have been a sight.
How about you guys? Trip highlight?
I reckon my highlight was when we hired that boat.
First or second?
Yeah, it was just so random. I just didn't know you could do it, and we had 10 of us on a high-powered speedboat, just free reign in the middle of the Naples Ocean or whatever it was. So that was probably the funniest thing. And when we got
Did you go on the boat, Bri? Were you on the boat?
Oh yeah. I went the first time. Oh yeah, first time. Yeah.
It was so funny the second time when it was just me, Ed, and a couple others, and we went into the harbour and started doing doughies in front of the cruise ship.
Yeah.
And the sea police came and chased us out.
I was so scared to go back on that boat after we went into that little bay. We tried to park it, and then everyone's just yelling abuse at us. We didn't know we weren't allowed to go there. We're we don't no one's speaking English. We don't know what we're supposed to do.
Yes, I remember that.
We turned around. We drove over the rocks to get out.
We literally did. Yeah. That was so good. Yeah, no, I reckon probably my highlight would be I never like to use the races, but I guess the whole idea of, I don't know, how it was just a shit show about all the travel and stuff, how we had all those buses and we had all those meetings about not making our races and having to be there 4 or 5 hours before and stuff. So I think probably just having to deal with all that and just it turning out to be a good race, probably one of my best races ever, which is unreal, because I feel if you can do something like that in such an unfamiliar setting where you just have no idea, it sets you up. The experience was just unreal. And obviously the whole team aspect, I hadn't been around Australian athletes since I started college.
Yeah.
So having that, meeting actual Australian athletes and making mates, it brings us back to this. I think, it's I would bust my balls to qualify for next year just for that, doesn't matter the outcome. That sort of stuff just hits different,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go again if I wasn't so old.
I didn't realize you were older than me, Clarke.
Yeah, I'm 95 born.
Yeah, because I have 1 more year, so I'm good for it next year, but then I'm done.
I thought the competition aspect was so cool as well. I mean, it's nothing you do.
Best running memory aside from Naples, just in general, or most memorable part of your career so far?
Well, I have 2 for different reasons. First one would just be my school competition, GPS, mainly cross country. Just because I went to a school when we went there, I think we became 10th out of 11 schools, and then my final year we came 2nd, and just that whole experience was just something crazy. It was being a part of something bigger than just yourself and the team environment. And then my second one would be more of a race where I kind of just proved to myself that I could be pretty good. And that was my freshman year of college in a 10K on the track, where I was injured all through outdoors and then just jogged and then got thrown in a 10K race and just blew. Like, it was my debut 10K, and I just ran like a time that I was just like shocked afterwards. So yeah, those probably my two.
Yeah.
Bri?
Shit. Probably the first time I ran the steeplechase, I guess. But it was like it just felt right. Like, I guess I was just like fell out of love with running, and like I think I ran 18 minutes for a 5K on the track, and I was in like college at that point, and there were like girls breaking 16, and I was just like, I just second guessed everything. I was like, what's going on? And then my coach just like at our home meet that outdoor season, like, put a bunch of hurdles in front of me and was like, can you jump over these? And I was like, probably. And then just kind of went from there. And I was like so late to the game. Like, I think ignorance is bliss in something like so brutal like that event. Because like I'd never run a 2K, and like a lot of people like always compare that time and all that. And obviously hadn't had a hurdle experience, which is like also a disadvantage. But yeah, I don't know. I think I just remember that like every hurdle I jumped on in that race, and just like having to trust myself and finding things out that I didn't know. And I think that was like just, I guess, the beauty in it all. So probably that.
For sure.
Maybe there's something to that, because I haven't done much since my second steeple. I've just been slowly going backwards since my first two. Nah, we'll get there. There's a lot of variables. I'm just kidding.
yeah, yikes.
Gosh, but there's a few. I reckon, okay, so I reckon Flagstaff with Jared Clifford 2 years ago, and then Portland, and then Oregon as well. That was a really fun trip. Just like that whole kind of like guiding part of my running career, which I want to revisit, hopefully, if you'll let me at some point. But that was like a really fun time. Like, I'm really good mates with Jared, and then like I get along really well with everyone in his squad too. So it was a really fun trip over in Flagstaff. And at the same time too, like Cookie was saying, it's something in running that you're obviously not just doing for yourself. Like, you're doing it for someone else, and you're part of that team, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And it was just a fun time too. Like, we were in Oregon, went to a house party at Craig Engel's place, met like
Is that a van party?
Oh no, it wasn't any van. He's got a house as well in Portland, so it was at his house.
Yeah,
that was pretty fun. Like, all of like Oregon track OTC elite were there.
Did you embarrass yourself?
No, I had a pretty quiet one.
Stand.
No such thing.
Yeah. No, we're not going to talk about that. But it was a really fun trip. Yeah, the whole trip. Yeah.
What about anyone pre-race superstitions?
Not really anymore. Back in the day when I was in school, I used to always have to eat fish fingers for breakfast before I race. I still eat fish fingers for breakfast now, like when I'm home.
Oh.
Yeah. Other than that, not really anything.
That's so funny.
What's the logic behind that?
It's because, dude, I hated cereal growing up, and I wouldn't eat anything like before, like because it's cereal, I wouldn't eat it. So my mum's like, "Oh, we have fish fingers in the freezer." I was like, "I'll eat them." Next thing you know, I've been eating them for 20 years.
Yeah. You're cool.
Now you look like one.
Yeah. The cat's pajamas.
Oh, jeez. I don't have any superstitions, hey. Like, I always go for a shakeout, like if it's a night race, usually track races are later at night. And I listen to like 3 songs on a shake. Like, that's my entire shakeout. I gotta go for longer. So that's like something I always do. They're always different too. Like, I don't know, I listen to a bunch of 80s music, a bunch of like EMD, like, it just depends. But yeah. So that.
EMD.
That's it.
EDM.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Just like a bunch of that sort of stuff. So I feel like it's, now that you travel so much and you're like racing, like, just in all different environments, I guess it's like,
yeah,
just different. You can't be like too like unfamiliar with that sort of stuff.
For sure. Clarke?
Nothing really in particular, but it's something like I'm not too big. I remember reading somewhere. I can't remember exactly from where, but it was like, oh, you don't want to get too into race. Oh, it was something. It was my high school coach told me it. He said you don't want to get too stuck into like particular superstitions, because then if there's something that restricts you from doing that on race day, you're gonna have a meltdown.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like he used like the example of some guy used to always carry this rock with him to the race. And one day he couldn't find his rock, and he just had like an absolute meltdown over it and had a bad race. So I try to avoid kind of being superstitious. I guess one thing I guess in terms of maybe an organizational point though, I try to like to stay really organized on race day. So I'll make a bit of a rough plan. And then this is something I've like started to work on this year, is trying to make a rough plan for my day.
Yeah.
And then I've always been, I guess, pretty OCD about packing my bag. Like I'll have a night race and I'll pack my bag in the morning for it.
Sure.
Just so I know it's packed and ready to go, kind of thing.
Couple of early nights. So I got a couple more questions because my Zoom chat's on the time limit. We'll go best workout and celebrity running crush.
I reckon, like, I'm a pretty good trainer, but I've had a lot of like good races off not my best sessions. So I always find when I'm hitting thresholds relatively quick for myself, that's when I'm in shape.
Yeah.
There's no real, I guess probably like 8 by K would be like my bread and butter, like off a minute or 90. And I remember I did a pretty good session once where I was probably averaged in like maybe high 240s, and we had like the last couple under 240.
Yeah.
That's when I thought like, all right, I'm pretty fit at this point. But then like, again, like I don't reckon it was leading into a race or anything. So I don't reckon my training performance is a good indicators of my race performance. I don't take too much note of how I'm training.
And celebrity running crush?
Celebrity running crush. Does that have to be running?
You choose.
How about everyone do their session? Come back to me. Give me something to think about that.
Okay.
All right. Best session for me. I did like probably late February when I was like gearing up for my second 3K, like just this past year. Well, a couple months ago. I did mile K 8, 6, 4, and then I did like a 800 last rep at like 2:15. And like all of them were like relatively quick. Like the mile was like just under 5. Like they were all like quick, like longer recovery. And like I just felt like I eventually got like speed back in me because I'd done so many miles. Like I was doing 80-mile weeks like at home, and like I couldn't hit a single time of my session set like workouts. And so like that just clicked for me. Like I remember finishing that session being like, I've never worked out like that. So I felt pretty good about that, and I like stuck with speed stuff. So yeah, that's probably one to date. Otherwise, yeah, like sometimes I'm kind of like Clarke, don't have like the best sessions going into some of my best races. Definitely second guess like my lifestyle like choices sometimes. But celebrity running crush definitely has to be Luke Matthews because his celebrations are just on par. I love a good Lukey run pookie, so yeah, I'm gonna have to say him.
Very nice. For running like a workout, I'm not really sure because like I mean I feel like with my coaches like we kind of like don't really do like the same session twice, so I don't really have like one that kind of sticks out. But if I did, it'd be something on the lines of like I guess like K, then like mile like maybe 3 or 4 times, just like one of those sessions that you're going like decently quick, and when you like finish it, you know like you're fit and you're ready to race, or like you're in a good spot. So I guess something along those lines, like I guess like mile K repeat. And then don't really have a celebrity running crush that much. I don't really have one, but my my massive celebrity crushes are definitely Margot Robbie, hands down. I message her on Instagram all the time, still waiting for a response. Hasn't come.
Oh, it's gonna come, Cookie. Don't worry.
It better.
Dan Canala, a big enough celebrity. Can I claim Dan Canala?
You can't.
Italian stallion.
Only Sam Phillips can.
Yeah, I'll have to fight Sammy Phillips for him.
Bryce Anderson still single?
Who?
Bryce.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Ed, who's your celebrity runner crush?
Yeah, who's Ed's?
Do you remember Maggie Vesey back in the day? That chick who used to wear like designer stuff to race in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, she was like American, but she was like European American or something.
Yeah, I just remember back in the day, like year 12.
What about Gonzabi the barber?
I thought you were gonna say her. I feel like you're always just messaging me about it.
I mean, for genetics, potentially.
Yeah, I messaged her as well.
Does she reply?
Does she have Instagram?
Do they have phones in Kenya?
Oh, Jesus.
They don't have universities, otherwise I'm going to race them. I'll wrap it up there because I've got less than a minute according to my Zoom. So always a pleasure chatting to you guys.
Thanks for having us, Ed.
Edward.
Where can I find this? I want to listen to it.
You'll find it soon. On YouTube.
On YouTube. Stay safe, everyone.
You too,
Keep
guys.
banging.
Keep it
Bye,
banging.
bros.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.